We live in a time where faces can be edited in seconds and perfection is only a filter away. But when the edited images start to feel more familiar than the real one in the mirror, what does that do for how we see ourselves?
That quiet shift from this is fun to this is who I should be is a very subtle one, but very powerful. AI and filters have changed more than just our photos. They've changed our relationship with our self-worth.
I've noticed it in conversations with friends, families, and even in myself, that tiny hesitation before posting something real, that part of me that wonders, will this version be enough? That doesn't look exactly the way I want it. That's what we're exploring today.
Welcome back to Therapy Inspired. I'm Darby Crosby. I'm a registered psychotherapist on the Registry for Marriage and Family Therapy.
And I'm Kameela Osman, a registered social worker and a psychotherapist. The content shared on Therapy Inspired is for information and educational purposes only. Listening or engaging in the content doesn't establish a therapist-client relationship. While we draw on our experience as psychotherapists, we don't reference specific clients or confidential cases. Some topics may be emotionally activating. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, we encourage you to pause, take care of yourself, or reach out to a mental health professional in your area. Your well-being matters.
So, Camilla, when you think about AI enhanced beauty, what stands out for you most?
It's how easily it blurs reality. Filters were once playful. Now they can quietly redefine what we believe we should look like. And it's not always about feeling insecure. Sometimes it's about longing for control in a world that feels unpredictable.
Yes. For some, filters feel like safety, a soft barrier between their real selves and the world's judgment. It starts as self expression, but can become self protection.
Exactly. And I think that's where self-compassion is so needed. It's not about being fake, it's about survival in a culture that often measures value through appearance.
And there has been some research now that's out that shows constant exposure to filtered faces can shift our perception of what normal is. The human brain starts to believe that digital perfection is the baseline.
Which means the mirror, once neutral, becomes a quiet place of comparison. I've had clients share that their self-talk changed after seeing AI-enhanced version of themselves. The narrative goes to, why can't that look like me, but better?
And that's such a powerful line. Me, but better. It captures this modern identity split, the self we live in and the self that the algorithm perfects.
And we both, images can feel real, which makes it feel like a bigger disconnection and even harder to notice.
So let's talk about how this shows up emotionally. And what do you see, Camilla, in your practice?
I see exhaustion, the pressure to maintain that polished digital image that starts to drain people. And underneath it is often anxiety about aging, relevance, being seen, or judgment from others. When we edit our images long enough, though, we start to notice that we're editing our emotions.
Yes, we learn to smile even when we're tired, to post even when we're lonely. And slowly, authenticity feels risky.
And that's where self-worth erodes, not overnight, but through 1,000 small edits.
And so, how can we reconnect? What are the steps to bring ourselves back to ourselves?
We can start small, take a photo and leave it untouched. Sit with it, notice what comes up. Judgment, resistance, maybe even sadness. Then look for something you appreciate that has nothing to do with appearance in that photo. The softness of your eyes, the moment that photo captured, the story behind it.
That's beautiful. I often suggest a realness reset. Unfollow a few accounts that fuel comparison and add ones that celebrate diversity, aging, and imperfection. In other words, real life.
Of course, because when we consume images that it shapes what we crave. The more that the realness is there, the safer it becomes for us to show up that way ourselves.
And I want to name there's nothing wrong with adding filters or enjoying beauty. But the question is, why do we do it? Am I expressing myself or am I trying to erase myself?
Yes, we can play with creativity without losing connection to truth. It's about intention and not shame.
And maybe the goal isn't to reject technology, but to stay rooted in authenticity while using it.
Exactly. When we see ourselves clearly, lines, pores, laughter marks, and all, we remember that that beauty was never meant to be airbrushed. That was meant to be lived in.
And so you move through the week, trying to notice the moments you reach out for perfection and gently ask yourself, what am I really needing right now?
Because beneath the filter, lighting, the angle, there's always a human longing to be seen and loved as we are.
Thank you for spending time with us today on Therapy Inspired.
If this episode resonated, share it with someone who might need the reminder that real is still beautiful.
And remember, your worth doesn't need the filter.